Good morning, teacher. My name is Ana Milena. Today I'm going to talk about a disease that affected our lives and the lives of millions of people in different aspects such as social, economic, educational, and work. I'm going to present some aspects about the pandemic caused by the coronavirus. The coronavirus is a virus that affected and modified the accelerated rhythm of life, which was full of social and cultural activities, family gathering, parties, work, and study that we were used to. This rhythm was affected throughout this year. My presentation is divided in three parts. First, I'm going to talk about the origin of the pandemic. The second one, I'm going to talk about the psychological consequence. And finally, I'm going to present some recommendations to maintain physical and psychological health. Well, I'm going to start with the origin of the coronavirus pandemic. The director of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom, affirmed that the origin of the disease is natural. He leaves aside the speculations that have been generated about the manufacture of COVID-19 in a laboratory. Just like when it was determined in the 80s of the last century that the human immunodeficiency virus, which causes AIDS, had not been produced in a laboratory. Now, a team of scientists has come to the conclusion that the coronavirus SARS-CoV-2, which causes COVID-19, originated in the Chinese city of Wuhan at the end of last year, a product of natural evolution. Analysis of the genome, the sequence of SARS-CoV-2 and related viruses found no evidence that the coronavirus was produced in a laboratory or was designed otherwise. By comparing available data of the genome sequence with the known strains of the coronavirus, it was possible to determine the SARS-CoV-2 originated through natural processes. Now I am going to continue with some psychological consequences that arose from pandemic. How does the pandemic affect people psychologically? Okay, during confinement, the two factors that most affect physical and psychological well-being are the loss of habits and routines and psychosocial stress, according to a study that analyzes the psychological impact of the COVID quarantine. Okay, disruption of habits during confinement and the establishment of unhealthy ones, for example, eating habits, irregular sleeping patterns, sedentary lifestyle, and increased use of screens can lead to physical and psychological problems. Okay, the health situation where we are experiencing is causing symptoms among the population, such as nervousness, uncertainty, fear, lack appetite, anxiety, depression, difficulties in falling asleep, etc. Okay, and finally, I want to present some recommendations to maintain physical and psychological health. Well, tips for maintaining physical and mental health during the pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic causes many of us to stay at home and sit a lot longer than usual. Many of us find it difficult to continue practicing the usual physical activity. The situation is even harsher for people who tend not to exercise too much. Regular physical exercise is beneficial for the body and mind. It can reduce hypertension, help control weight, and lower the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and various forms of cancer, all of which can increase vulnerability to COVID-19. Okay, healthy eating is very important during the COVID-19 pandemic. What we eat and drink can affect our body's ability to prevent and avoid infections and to recover from them. Healthy eating is important for the proper functioning of the immune system. Proper nutrition can also reduce the likelihood of other health problems such as obesity, heart disease. I have some tips for the healthy eating. Could be some tips for healthy eating could be the consumption of varied foods, including fruits and vegetables, reduce consumption of salt, sugar, fat, and oil. Also, to maintain a psychological health, you can follow these recommendations. First, taking to people to trust can help you set up regular visits with friends and family, especially if the people isolate themselves. Second, if you feel overwhelmed, you can take to a health professional or counselor. The third one, and it is necessary and important to maintain a healthy lifestyle that includes a good diet, sleep, and exercise. To conclude, I want to say that the virus treats us all the same, puts us equal at risk of becoming ill, of losing someone close to us. The virus shows that the human community is equally fragile and the most fragile of all. Those who are most likely to suffer the worst consequences are the elderly and the sickest, who are beginning to be singled out by some governments as responsible for the economic crisis to come, and that we are ultimately responsible for our own self-care. That's all.